A former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs is back on the stand in his federal sex trafficking trial. Just last week, the woman, identified by the pseudonym Jane, broke down in court while describing encounters with multiple sexual partners during so-called hotel nights with Combs, similar to those now infamous freak-offs. Well, today she's being questioned again about her relationship with the music mogul and said that she reached a boiling point over his alleged demands. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas joins us now again outside the courthouse where she has been following this case since the very beginning. Chloe, before we get into today's testimony, just over the weekend, Combs' attorneys, they requested a mistrial for now the second time. Where does that decision stand?
So they were specifically citing testimony from a woman named Brianna Bangolan, and she is somebody who claims that Sean Combs at one point dangled her off of a 17th floor balcony. But during her cross-examination, she seemed to get some dates wrong. She couldn't remember some of the things that she had told prosecutors in advance of her testimony, and she appeared to be sort of hazy on the facts. And at one point, she had stated that nobody saw her being dangled over the balcony, and then her story seemed to change. And so what one of Combs' attorneys was saying in this letter over the weekend, Morgan, was that this individual perjured herself and that it's clear that you just cannot trust her testimony, and that the prosecutors knew that she was going to do this when they put her on the stand, that her story was shaky, and that because the prosecutors knew that her story was allegedly flimsy, that is a reason that there should be a mistrial because the prosecutors are acting in bad faith.
You know, Chloe, but this morning Jane testified about these texts, basically, that she sent Combs describing how she felt about these hotel nights that sounded very similar to the freak-offs that his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura described. What did she tell the court about her feelings and perhaps in some cases how her feelings changed over time?
So that's a really great point because I want to get to Cassie Ventura in just a moment, but I do want to read you some of a text message of what Jane Doe had written to what she said. She said, "I wanted to stop having sex with other men." She texted, "I'm tired. I need a break." I said, "Sex is sacred to me. I have brain fog and I can't concentrate. I couldn't focus because of all of the drugs." And then Sean Combs writing back, "I don't want that from you." And she said she needed a break. So look, she has maintained all along that although she did procure some of these escorts for these hotel nights, which are also known as freak-offs, that she didn't want to do it, that she did it because she wanted to make Combs happy. And she was also worried that he was going to stop paying her rent. I also want to point out that just moments ago, she was asked about what went through her mind when she saw Cassie Ventura's lawsuit in November of 2023. And she said, "I almost fainted. In fact, I think I did," because there were 3 specific pages that held a harrowing resemblance to what I went through. And we actually just heard a phone call between her and Sean Combs. It appears that one of his phones was tapped after Cassie's lawsuit, or somehow they got a recording of this phone call between himself and Jane. And we were just listening to that in the courtroom moments ago.
A lot of really just disturbing patterns of allegations here and details. Chloe Melas for us outside that courthouse. Chloe, thank you.